Hello and welcome back to Callie's in the Kitchen. I was missing my metallic dolly dot technique, so I thought I'd do it again. This great idea of Julie from Pouring Your Heart Out, when you have leftover resin, put a glitter or whatever you'd like and sort of make these discs. Now I know you're supposed to put it this side up, but my glitter is on this side. So this is my first time trying one of these discs, and I know it's kind of like not nicely squared, but I'm going to attempt it. Now usually I don't mix and show you because I wear a mask, but today I've got my window open, and the only ones that I've mixed is my it's called Rosifar Chameleon Powder Champagne, and I've mixed it in here so I feel a little safer because with mica powder I'm really sensitive. I have to use a mask. This one is the Violet Aurora that I've mixed into my clear, and you'll see all the steps coming up. So my first color of choice, this is, by the way, the metallic dolly dot that you can find on Resin Art by Lillian. And I'm not sure how many drops I'm going to use, so I am using the, I'm going to make it pretty dark today, Write and Draw inks from Octopus Inks. I really like them. And so I'm going to try those today. Let's see here. The formula and ratios all can be found on Resin Art by Lillian, her course, which I will link below. This really reminds me of the fairy flower that resincourses.com has, because we're going to be doing some dotting. So I think I did 4 drops there. These little stoppers are really handy, although you can use a pipette as well. So warning, this is a long video because I'm showing you the mixing process as well as the technique. The mold is the Cascade mold from Pouring Your Heart Out. The resin I'm using is Art Pro from Resin Pro. Now I really want to make my color dark because I'm going to be putting some white over it. So I think I better not do any more. So let me do that. And then you just clean those stoppers with alcohol ink. So this from Write and Draw is the Violet Bee. I love the names of their colors. It's so creative. So there's a lot of mixing in some of these processes and techniques, but I love it. It's like cooking, which I don't like, but I just love all this mixing that you need to do. So I've done a few of these, and it's been a minute since I did one, so I thought I'd do it again. So that is the Violet Bee. Then in my next cup of resin that I've already put aside, I'm going to put some Enoki from Octopus Inks. I'm going to make sure I see Enoki, because the last time I used this, I thought it was Enoki and it was milk in a different project. 1, 2. So I put a little bit of that Enoki in there. And then the color I'm going to mix it in with is Yellow Zebra. So what I do is I first mix my excuse me, my white, the Enoki in. Then it'll give me a gauge as to how much of my yellow I want to put in. And once again, I'm going dark today, or darker, I think. So let's see how that shows up. pretty nice, but I want it a little bit darker, so I'm going to add a little bit more. I think this is going to mix with that. I hope it doesn't clash. Some of these things you got to think ahead. So I'm just going to add 2 more drops. That was the Write and Draw from Yellow Zebra, it's called. These Write and Draw inks really remind me of the Holbein inks, which are also very rich. Quite a few of my friends use Liquitex acrylic inks, and I just ordered some because I wanted some glitter specific from Blick Arts, and I said, ooh, I think I'll order some of that Liquitex acrylic inks. Now, I know I stir a lot. It's just a habit. I don't know if you can overstir. Maybe you can. But with my mica powder, I always sort of go back. If I haven't used it yet, I go back and stir it as well, just to make sure that all that powder is dissolved. So my last, I'm just mixing my clear with the Violet Aurora again. Now my last is the white, and I'm using Just Right Titanium White for this technique. And it's difficult for me sometimes because it's not drops, so I'm just using about that much today. And I'll take a look and see after I've stirred it in to see if I want to add some more. And it's always better to add less so you can add more, because if you put more then you can't subtract it. And I know drops are a lot easier because you can count, but for me this technique, this particular white pigment paste works really well. And I believe it was Genevieve who introduced me to this. So, oh, I'm tempted to put in a little bit more, but I don't think I will. I'll just listen to my gut, because I did put in a little bit more than I did the last time. So I'm experimenting quite a few things, this especially. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my white, which is the resin, and I'm mixing it again. Just a mixer, putting it into my piping bag. This is another one of the reasons why I don't tape my mixing, because I do take a long time. So apologies if this ends up being a long video. Now with mica powders, I hope if anybody who's looking at this video and knows, I'd really love to know the difference between Color Shift, Super Shift, Chameleon mica powders. I mean, are they all just the same, meaning they change colors? Or is there something, indicative of each of them? I'm not really sure. I don't know, because, some people use the term Color Shift. Some people use the term Super Shift. Then when I order stuff, it also says Super Shift, like a couple colors, mica powders that I really love, and it says Super Shift. So very confusing for me. Okay, I'm going to get my notes ready and then put this in a piping bag. Excuse the crunch sound. I'm really hoping this will work. Never tried one before. I thought I'd use a neutral color. And it was actually Sparkle Diamonds from Laura's Art Corner. And they float, so I thought, I'll use Julie's trick. All right, so here we go. the first thing I'm going to do is actually I'm going to pour my champagne mica powder first on the edge of my mold. And I'm actually going to go like where the creases are, or whatever you call them, the folds. I'm dripping over there. I'm just going to go over here. Okay, that's the first one done. Clean up mess. Then what you do is you pour your first color, and for me it's the violet. Oh, I love this violet color. Oh, it's just so beautiful. Like I said, the Write and Draw just have really, really beautiful colors. Get every drop that I can. Then my first order of business is to start dotting right away. So I put my edge, I put my mixing color, and then I'm going to make my hole really small. From where this ends, I'm just going to dot. And feel free to fast forward. Maybe I'll stop the tape and then turn it back on again, but hang on, let me get a groove going here. So what I'm going to do is just dot, dot, dot into the center, and then I don't need to take your time watching all that dotting. I'll show you when I get to the next step. Okay, so you've seen I've done it to the center. Then I'm taking my yellow zebra and I'm going to pour it on top of that violet bee and champagne chameleon powder. I'm going to use all of it. Oops. Then, with my clear, I'm going to push in the middle, push it out. I'm glad my center stayed. I don't like the looks of those colors, but we'll see if they work. Okay, and then I'm going to go back to dotting again. Clean up this mess here. Hope that doesn't give me a give me any trouble. So I'm going to start dotting again, And feel free to fast forward. At some point when I've got my groove again, I will stop the tape. And basically at that point, what I'm going to do after I finish this second round of dotting, for me there's 3 rounds, I think there are 3 rounds, yeah, of dotting. So after I do this one, I'm going to mix up a fresh batch of clear resin. And you'll see what I'm going to do with that. So I'm going to stop so that you don't get bored, and I'll see you soon. Thought I'd bring you in towards the end of this. Is still just my second round of dots. So you saw that I did you can see that I did a bunch in the middle, or the outer center, and in the center, and then I started going back out towards where this yellow turned out. Yellow color. So I'm just still adding some more, and since I have quite a bit of the white left, I'm just gonna do a whole bunch, and then momentarily I will stop this process and then mix up, as I mentioned, a clean, fresh batch of resin. A little lopsided here. Let's see where else I can fill in. Okay, so I'm going to stop right there and then come right back after I've mixed up my next batch of resin. Okay, so I'm towards the end minutes or seconds of mixing my clear resin. Now I did notice that my little centerpiece disc floated up, so I pushed it down. Hope that's not going to affect my design. Always a live and learn. Okay, so this is the second push, which is the new resin. And then I'm going to take my piping bag, but first I'm going to sort of see if I can move this into the center more. Okay, now I'm going to do the final round of dots. See, I'm not sure why it didn't come out. I'm going to do them really small, and it's just sort of oozing out, probably because my resin is getting thick. So I'm hardly even squeezing the piping bag. I'm just letting the white come out. Then I'm going to go back out. And if you've noticed, I haven't torched yet, but I will now that I've done my second and final push. Because I have some more resin, I'm tempted to go further out. Let me look at my notes. Well, I'm just going to do one more. I wonder why I have so much resin left from my white, because I'm using the same formula or ratios that I've done this before. Oh, I know. I noticed that my Art Pro, the last batch that I had, the resin, or both part A and B, felt like a different consistency. I mean, it still worked and I was still able to get some results, but, and this new one is thick. I don't know. Anyway, that's it on this one. And then I'm going to now finally do my torching. And hopefully this cures in a few hours. For me, Art Pro in the deep mold does cure faster. So I'm not going to mess anymore because I'm hoping that it'll just naturally move in. Maybe I'll just put, oh, I might be playing with fire here. But I see a few spots that I can maybe add just really tiny amount. Just glutton for punishment. Maybe I'm going too many. Oh, somebody tell me to stop. All right, I'm stopping. Okay, I will see you for the unmolding. Okay, so I have a reveal for you, but for hours and hours I have been so sad. Let me show you why. Can you guess? My little disc moved from the center. It moved over here. So I have no idea what my backside of my pour is going to be. So I am just like holding my breath. Okay. And I've known this for hours because I've been watching it, and then I poured it, I went away, I came back and I went, oh no, that disc has floated, and I was too afraid to move it. So let me get a black piece of cardboard. Hold on. So that I can get a good effect of a reveal. Oh, that's pretty. Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness my disc did not do anything or damage my front. Oh, I'm so relieved. So here's a close-up. There you go. That is my metallic Dolly Dot. Very cool, and I'm curious as to what happened. Oh, there it is. That little disc there displaced my petals because, see, they came out here. So that's really interesting. But anyway, it turned out pretty darn good for when a centerpiece moves and shifts on you. So what a giggle I'm going to have. Thank you for watching.